My number one thing that I want, my number one message that I want to get across the world is that there is nothing wrong with them. They are fine just the way that they are. If they want to change, they are fine with that change too. If they're feeling an intense emotion, they are fine with that intense emotion. Explore it. If they are having these erotic thoughts, I think that's a sexual term. If they're having these intense and wild thoughts, they're fine for having these intense and wild thoughts. The bad part, the part that's not serving is them thinking that there's something wrong with them for having these feelings, for having these thoughts. There is nothing wrong with them for having these feelings or having these thoughts. That is what's causing the disease. That them saying to themselves, there's something wrong with my thoughts, there's something wrong with my feelings. If these negative thoughts or negative feelings turn into a behavior and they act out negatively on it, that's something different. But the actual thought, the actual feeling is totally fine. And if I have one wish for the planet, it is to be get in touch with your thoughts. Get in touch with your feelings. Write them down. Look at them. Feel them fully. Go to your room. Let it go all over your body. Get in touch with you.
Very nicely put. And to go off of what you were saying about it not being wrong to be who you are, it not being wrong for me to be who I am, it not being wrong for me to have my issues, right? Like everybody in the world is carrying around their own stuff. Everybody's got their stuff. Everybody's doing their best to keep it together, doing their best to be a good person or live life the way they think is right, but still struggling at times. And along with the realization that I'm not wrong for being the way I am, I'm not wrong for being me. In addition to that, there's a realization that by being me, there are things that I can do, things that I can offer to other people in this world that will dramatically affect their lives, that could very much improve their lives. There's no perfect people in the world, so this idea of, oh, I can only be in a relationship, or I can only be in a friendship, or I can only work at this one company when I'm perfect, that's never going to happen. There is no perfect. Relationships are two screwed up people, because we're all screwed up, getting together, and their screwed upness works. Their screwed upness works together. You know, once in a while, there's that kind of relationship where I see her, she's nuts, she sees me, I'm nuts, and it just works.
Yes.
And even though we're not perfect, it works. And I see her and she sees me, and even though we're messed up, we actually are able to love each other. Not even in spite of the craziness, because of the craziness. And if I sit back thinking, oh, I can't be in a relationship, I can't be in a friendship, I can't do this kind of work because I'm not perfect or I'm so messed up or whatever, I'm withholding myself from all those people. For all I know, this woman who I could have given her a life of love and happiness, I'm condemning her to solitude because I mistakenly believe that I have to be perfect before I get out into the world and start contributing to other people. You know, being me for other people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Perfection. The only perfect scenario is to know that that scenario is imperfect, but to do it anyway. It doesn't mean you can't try to make your best, to put all your all into it, to fix the problems that happen. But know that whatever happens, it is imperfect, and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway with the knowing that, you know what, you might fall flat on your face. If you can accept yourself falling flat on your face every single time, to the degree that you can accept yourself failing is to the same degree that you can accept yourself succeeding. If you are unwilling, they're just opposites. Success and failure are opposites. If you cannot accept yourself failing, if you're pushing away failure, that means you're pushing away its opposite, which is success. If you're not willing to fail, then you're not willing to succeed. The inventor of the light bulb, Thomas Edison, tried 700 ways to make a light bulb and couldn't. When asked about that, he said he didn't fail 700 times. He discovered 699 or 700 times not to make a light bulb, and he made one. There was no definition of failure. He allowed himself to make a mistake, and he also allowed himself, with allowing himself to make a mistake, he welcomed success, and successful he was.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a beautiful example. That was, if after the first few times he would have said, I'm not cut out for this stuff. This is stupid. No light bulb. No light bulb. I mean, somebody I'm sure would have invented it eventually, but that would have dramatically changed history, right?
Yeah.
That would have sucked.
We would have been in the dark right now.
Yeah. So what about instead of, I have to be this, or I have to be that, or I have to be perfect, put that aside and say, I'm screwed up. I'm doing the best I can, whatever. I'm going to try to bring good things to the world and to my life anyway. Even though I'm messed up, can I help her enjoy her life a little bit? Even if it's for tonight or for the next week or the next month? Can she help me enjoy mine? Or is that something that we actually need to be perfect for?
Yes, imperfection. I love it. Let's just say my face is imperfect and I'm incredibly unattractive. You know what? I'm going to go out anyway with this incredibly unattractive face and live my life. I'm going to accept me for all its perfections and imperfections. I'm going to embrace them. I'm going to acknowledge them. And I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live.
When you said that, what about your face? I know you were using that as an example, but it reminded me. I met a girl one time. I met her over the phone before I met her in person. And it had been a few weeks since we started talking, and then finally, we decided that we were going to meet. And when we met, it was fantastic. But there was a moment that came where, she had this look on her face, how people get a look on their face, like they're hiding a secret. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And she's like, just beautiful, inside and out, just beautiful woman. And she was like, I thought that you would have noticed my jaw. And I'm like, I do notice your jaw. It's very nice. What do you mean? And she's like, well, it's not totally symmetric. I've always been really self-conscious about it. And I'm like, dude, look at my nose. I'm looking over there, but my nose is pointing right at you. I'm totally not symmetric. Things don't have to be symmetric. You don't have to be symmetric. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be absolutely robot looking. None of that stuff matters. Look, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with being crooked. There's nothing wrong with being anything. I like you just the way you are. Instead of putting the pressure on myself that I have to be perfect, I have to be symmetric or whatever it is, how about if I let somebody else know that they don't have to be perfect either? I guess I would like to let people know that, if that's if there could be one message, I think it's very similar to yours. You don't have to be perfect. I don't require you to be. And I don't think other people really require you to be either.
That person that you met, the person that's doing the worst damage is actually her idea of not belonging, not fitting in, her idea of there's something wrong with her. Because the general population is going to look at her and accept her for who she is. It's her not accepting herself for who she is. That's what causes the discomfort in her body.
Yes.
That's what causes illness. That's what causes suffering. I mean, I have a pretty funky hairstyle. And when I first started wearing it, it was very different. And I was afraid to leave my house like this because of what others might say.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was afraid to leave my house.
I remember you. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
With this hairstyle. And how I got over it is, you know what? I'm going to leave the apartment like this, and I'm going to just imagine that everybody just laughed at me. Everybody. And then I played the scenario in my head, and I'm like, wow, okay, I think I'm okay with that. I'm just going to leave the house, and everybody that I see, I'm just going to imagine them laughing at me. And I wore it, and I never went back. I wore it, and it was wonderful. Not only did nobody laugh at me, but I was actually shown, oh, I got a vibe of like, wow, this guy is different. Or I received compliments, genuine compliments, not the superficial compliments or the fake compliments. They liked the look. And then when I told people, you know, I was actually afraid to wear it like this, they looked at me as if I was a different person, as if like, wow, why would you be afraid to express yourself? Why would you be afraid to show who you are? Why would you be afraid to do something that they think is so cool? And wow, it is so true. We are our own worst enemy. It's like our thoughts are not real. Oh, he or she's going to make fun of me. He or she's not going to like me. These are thoughts that's not real. And these thoughts turn into emotions. And the cycle repeats itself. The best way to break the cycle is look at your thought. Look at your untrue thought. Keep looking at it. And do what you want. Do what you love while you're addressing this unreal thought, or while you're addressing this emotion that you're feeling. Keep doing what you love. Have one attention focused on what you're doing, and have the other attention focused on what you're feeling about the moment and your thought about the moment. It's like you're doing both.
Yes. I liked what you said when you had a really nice quote on Sunday when we were filming. You said you were talking to that girl, and you had a great interaction with her because you said, I had one ear, I was listening to her with one ear and listening to me inside with the other ear. Beautiful. That is a beautiful analogy. And specifically, you're not listening inside to go, oh, I'm screwing up. What the hell am I doing? It's not that. I'm giving myself attention. I'm honoring myself. I'm going, me. This is me. I'm not wrong for any of it. And at the same time, I want to know what comes up. The ear that's out there in the world, that's for doing my thing, doing what I love, contributing, doing good, connecting, communicating, all that stuff. And the inner ear is the ear of real honesty, the ear that I use for for the real personal growth, the ear that says, okay, what am I hearing that is actually going on inside of me? And what is the real reason for it? What is the actual root of it?
Yes. Our culture was taught, look elsewhere. Oh, I can go out here to get happiness. I can go out here to get money. I can go out here to get this. I can go out here to get this, to do this and to do this. But we never look inside here. We never focus our attention inside here. This is where it starts. In here is where the road is, where each and every road should start. Okay, I need to go from California to New York. I need to walk across the street. I need to walk to my car. Let's start here. Breathe. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? What's going on in here? Feel my body. Let's start here first, then let's go out. While I go out, I'm operating from here. When I take a step, check back here. You cannot check back here enough. I remember when you and I were talking, I asked you, how do I check in here most of the time? I was actually thinking about putting strings on my fingers just to remind myself to check in. Now I'm doing it so often that it becomes habit. But however you could remind yourself, check in. This is where the road starts, here. It doesn't start here. It doesn't start with your remote control. It doesn't start with your car. It doesn't start with your apartment door or your home door. It starts here. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing that I'm checking in now is not my alarm clock, not the ceiling when I open my eyes, not the 2 steps that I take off the bed. How am I feeling? What's going on? I take each and every morning, I take 5 minutes and I'm like, what's going on? Do I feel happy? Do I feel intensely sad? Do I feel like destroying someone, destroying something? And again, every feeling, every emotion is there's nothing wrong with the thought. There's nothing wrong with the emotion. The behavior is something different. So every morning when I wake up, I allow the negative, the positive, and everything in between to be felt, to be heard. I don't shove anything in there. I don't forcefully put a thought or a feeling in there, but I just feel what's already there. Observe what's already present. Breathe what's already, my lungs is already there. Breathe into it. Feel it fully. When I do that fully, I have the best days ever. That starts off the day in a right path. And every moment that goes by, whenever possible, check in here. Whenever I do anything.
That's amazing. What you're talking about right there, it is, I agree with you. It's absolutely about repetition. Mm-hmm. It's about repetition. It's about learning over and over again the lesson that I don't have to be afraid of my emotions. The only reason that I'm afraid of them is because I thought it means that something is wrong if I'm feeling it. Mm-hmm. Every opportunity that I have to go inside, and as Eckhart would say, don't label, don't judge it, don't try to fix it, don't call it wrong. Simply feel what I'm feeling, and that's all. Every time I do that, I'm teaching myself the lesson that I don't have to live in fear of my emotions anymore. And once I do it enough, it's automatic. And that, would you agree that that changes everything?
Yes.
That's the difference. That's the difference between the people who seem to get it and the people who don't. People who get it don't live in fear of their emotions. And the reason they don't is they have learned the lesson over and over. They've taught themselves the lesson over and over that they can handle it.
It's kind of ironic how to conquer your fears or your emotions is to allow it to come in fully. Allow the fear, allow the emotions, just to allow yourself to experience it. If you don't want to think a negative thought again, think that negative thought to its fullest degree. Only then will that negative thought pass. If you don't want to feel a negative emotion, fear, anxiety, feel that negative emotion fully until it passes. It's our unwillingness to hear. It's our unwillingness to see the thought. It's our unwillingness to feel this negative emotion. That's what's keeping it there. To feel happiness, that's easy. It comes, I'm happy. It's great, it moves along. To feel sadness, it comes, I'm sad, I don't want to feel you anymore. It stays, right. Becomes illness. And now we say, how do we get rid of this unpleasant feeling? And we search for every which way to get rid of it, except to truly accept it, to truly have no judgment for it, to truly allow it to flow wherever it wants to go in our body, and then it will leave. So feel your emotions. They will not kill you.
They will not kill you, and after a while you will learn that there is actually nothing to be afraid of. All the things that seem so scary, you're not scared of those things. You're scared of your reaction to those things. And doing this for long enough, you learn, I actually don't have to be afraid of my reactions. I'm perfectly well equipped to deal with them.
Yeah. Wow.
Good talk.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we did this.
And good night tonight. Good discussion, good group.
It was very calm. Yeah, it's true. Growing up, we were never taught to deal with our feelings or our emotions. We had to figure it out on our own. So I had to become my own school for my own thoughts, my own behaviors, my own emotions. If you're going through something, if you have questions on the video that you've just seen, if you're going through something fierce inside, sadness, fear, guilt, depression, if you're going through drama outside in your life, and you need somebody to talk to, give me a call. I'm here to help you. My name is Sayad.